Hey guys, welcome back to the Fit Dad Club podcast. My name is Jason, and today what I'm going to be taking you through is how to figure out what you actually want. And this is not what you keep telling yourself, but I'm going to take you through the three main currencies that where we spend them is determining what we actually want out of our life. And a big thing for us is it's not about what you say, it's about what you do. And this is evident in how we show our kids how to live in the world. They don't think about the one time that dad told me it was important to be a nice person. They think about how many times have I watched dad be a nice person? And what does being a nice person mean? What does that look like? That's what really matters to kids, and that's what really matters to ourselves as well. So before we get stuck into it, we would love it if you could leave us a 5-star rating and review, leave us a comment, leave us a message, send us a DM on Instagram if you have any topics you'd love us to cover. But for today, what I want to cover is what these three currencies are, and they're your time, your energy, and your money. Where you spend these things is a determinant of what you actually want. There is a big difference between someone telling us, hey, I want to transform. I want to change my looks. I want to be fitter. I want to have more energy for my kids. But they aren't willing to make certain sacrifices. And a look at a snapshot of your bank account in the last 90 days will tell us everything we need to know about where your priorities are, right? Are you still buying smokes? Are you still buying, drinks? Are you still going to the bottle shop, right? Are you still getting takeaway? Still ordering Uber Eats? All of these things are financial sacrifices that, yes, you might have to make in order to, especially in this economy at the moment, in order to afford something like a personal trainer or a coach or a gym membership. We understand that. However, if you are continuing to spend your money in those areas and you tell someone, hey, I really want to get fit, I just can't afford it at the moment, then you're kind of lying to yourself, because you don't want the expense of getting fit at the cost of not having the drinks, not having the smokes, not having the takeaway, because you could make that up financially pretty quickly, but you're not willing to look at it and go, cool, let me direct my money somewhere else. Or you might simply not be aware of it. So in that case, let this podcast be that awareness piece for you. So looking at where are you spending your money? If you're spending your money on one thing and you're telling me you want another thing, you don't actually want that other thing. It's just fundamentally true, because if that was the case, you would spend your money in that direction. So this is where we need to be honest with ourselves and go, where am I spending my money? Am I willing to change the way that things are? Am I willing to change where I'm spending my money in order to get the result and the thing that I tell people that I want? If not, you've just got to stop telling people that that's exactly what you want, because it's not. Because if it was, you'd be spending your money in that direction. Same thing for your time. If you tell us that you love your kids and you want to spend more time with them, and then you go out and you work 12, 14, 16-hour days, right? And you do unpaid overtime and you work late all the time. Why? And there is a concept here called closer, not more. Closer, not more. Getting closer to what you want is more important than just getting more of whatever. And this applies a lot of the times when it comes to finances. A lot of dads go, oh yeah, but I've got to provide for my kids. I've got to provide for my family. It's like, yeah, but then you end up just working all this overtime and you're providing all this money so your family can have a good life. And eventually you can spend more time with them, but you lose that time. Would you not rather work the 8 hours and then spend time with them right now, rather than work 12, 14, 16 hours and eventually get to spend time with them once they're sick of you and they don't want to play with you anymore and they don't think that you're the coolest person in the world? Is that a sacrifice that you're willing to make? So where are you spending your time? Because if you tell me again that my kids are the most important thing to me, but you're working late hours at work, that's an indication that your kids and your family and spending time with them is not actually what you want, right? You might think sort of logically, oh yeah, but I'm making this money and therefore it's giving me something for them, and it's kind of, I'm doing it all for them. What do they actually want? They probably want a present dad. They want a dad who's going to come home on time and not late, right? You don't want to leave before they wake up in the morning and get back just in time for bedtime. Like, that's not a way to live if your kids are the most important thing for you and spending time with them is really important to you. And then finally is your energy. Very similar to time, but where are you spending your energy? Where are you spending your focus? What is the media that you're consuming on a day-to-day basis outside of work, outside of your family life, right? What are the Instagram accounts that you follow? What are the things that you think about? What are the Facebook rants that you read and you go on? And what is actually most important to you is where you direct your energy. Where you direct your energy, where energy goes, results show. Where focus goes, energy flows and results show. So whatever you're focusing on, that's where your results are going to come from. That's where your results are going to grow. The more you focus on your work, the more you focus on your relationship, the more likely that area of your life is to grow. Same thing with your health and fitness. The problem that people have is that they're not willing to be real with themselves. They're not willing to be honest and go, hey, you know what? Yes, this is important to me, but just not right now. At the moment, I'm in this phase of life where I have to focus on something else. And that's okay. It's okay to have those phases of your life. It's just important that you don't lie to yourself, because the more you do that, the more you create this cycle of, I tell myself I want something and then I don't do anything about it. And now I don't believe myself. And now I need to do something different. So I tell myself, and then you just keep this loop and this cycle that we've talked about of self-doubt. You keep continuing that cycle of self-doubt. You're never going to trust your own word again. But take a look. This is my action step for you as a part of this podcast. Take a look at the last 90 days and take a look at where have you, as a majority, spent your time, your energy, and your money. Where have you, as a majority, spent your time, your energy, and your money? And as a result of that, what has been most important to you? For some of you, it might be drinking. For some of you, it might be fast food and experiences and going out to dinners. For some of you, it might be sports and going out to the footy or whatever. Those might be the things that you value. Those might be the things that are important to you. And then ask yourself, is this the way that I want it to be? If I projected this last 90 days over the next 90 days, 180, 360 days, over the next year, what does that look like? What does that look like? And 90 days is enough of a snapshot, because you can go, oh, well, yeah, 90 days isn't that long. Well, it's 3 months. It's a quarter of the year. And that we're a third of the way through the year now. And if you're not a third of the way towards your goals that you set yourself in January, then you're falling behind. And if you're not in that position, it's because you haven't been prioritizing it, because there's no such thing as being too busy. There's only priorities. It's not, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. Some people prioritize different things, which is why different people get different results. So you've just got to ask yourself, what have I been prioritizing? And then it comes from a place of ownership. It's like, cool, instead of me saying I've been too busy to do anything, it's like, no, I haven't been prioritizing it. Because a lot of people tell me, oh, I'm too busy to go to the gym. I'm too busy to track food. Do you go to the toilet? You take a shit. You probably take 5 minutes in the morning to take a shit, as most dads tend to do. And while you're doing that, you can track your food for the day, right? Through any of your toilet breaks. That's when I recommend most people tend to track their food, because you're on your phone, you're scrolling bullshit anyway. You might as well do something productive at that time. You're going to eat anyway, right? It's not like you're going to be, oh, I don't have time to eat healthy. Well, you're going to be sitting down and eating meals regardless. You can just choose better meals. You're going to be cooking dinner or buying dinner regardless. You just buy a better choice. So it's not that you don't have time, it's that you haven't prioritized it. And yes, it might take an extra couple of minutes initially until you get the rhythm of it, until you get the hang of it. But that small investment then leads to dividends. If you could have bought, shares in Apple or Tesla or, Microsoft or whatever 20 years ago, with hindsight, you probably would have done it. It would have been a small investment that compounded into something really big. You can do that now. A small investment in the amount of time you spend going for a walk, going to the gym, doing a quick workout at home, doing 3 sets of 10 push-ups, right, before you go to bed, whatever it could be. It could be just nothing. It could be something really, really small. It could be just tracking your food. But by starting to put some energy, some time, some money, some focus in that direction, you will start to move that needle forward, right? But you need to start by prioritizing it. And that stops with the lies. It stops with telling yourself you're too busy. It stops with spending your money on stupid bullshit when you could be spending it on something a lot more positive for you. So if you need some help making that switch, if you need some help and some encouragement, go to fit-dad.club, book in a call. We'll talk about where you are, help you come up with a game plan for where you want to be. And until next time, see you then.